Yo, 365, shake my hand, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. We're looking at, don't be confused, you clicked on the right thing. We're going to be looking at Swiss franc JPY in a second, right? But I just wanted to quickly, if you can allow me for the first 1 minute or two of this video, please don't sign out, please don't lose focus, don't lose attention, whatever it is that people do on YouTube, and they just disappear if the first 30 seconds are impactful, right? When I was away for the couple of 90 something days at the beginning of the year, I always knew last year that I'd need time off, time to rewire, to regroup, and then it was obviously, like I said, for those of you within the academy received my big email, it was obviously triggered by the people I lost in December. I just felt, wow, I was very hoggishly down. But throughout the whole of last year, I'd be working on, upgrading my meditation sequence, right? My meditation routine, my Zenfulness, the Zenful practice, and really understanding the neuroscience behind a still mind. And you've heard me say this, so many times in all the war rooms last year, right? And this is an edited book by a couple of people who were putting together, extracts from every single book that Napoleon Hill ever wrote. If you know me, I'm a big fan of Napoleon Hill. I'm a big fan of his intellectual son, not his real son, but someone who I think has taken into the teachings of Napoleon Hill into the 21st century, who was the late Bob Proctor. I'm a big fan of those people. I'm a big fan of anyone who understands the mind and the law of vibration specifically, because I've seen it work in my life. And anyway, there's this big concept that Napoleon Hill brings up in the famous book Think and Grow Rich, which is auto-suggestion. And in that book, the one that you can buy in the stores, Think and Grow Rich, the one you can buy in the stores, is the watered down version, by the way. It's not the original Think and Grow Rich. The Freemasons back then in the 1960s, 1970s, I can't remember, under Henry Ford, the actual Ford guy who created the Ford car, which was more than a car. He created a new type of capitalism, which was mass production, mass consumption, by creating an assembly line. Blah, blah, blah. We can talk about this stuff all day. But anyway, he shut down the original book because he felt like Napoleon Hill was spilling, a lot of secrets, right? Freemasons basically are the secret holders of enlightened truth, right? Basically, that's what it means to be a Freemason, right? So anyways, so the watered down version of, and I finally got my hands on the original book, which is supposed to be Think and Grow Rich, and that original book is about 1,400 and something crazy pages. I mean, I can't wait to put it out on the podcast, the Money Heist podcast. But anyway, he talks about auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion is such an imperative thing, and unfortunately for most of us human beings, auto-suggestion is done for us from the time we are born, right? It's literally impressed upon your subconscious mind, an idea, how you think about money, how you move, what you think success is, how hard you have to work for it, how little you have to work for it. All that stuff is based on your class, your race, your biological setup, your genetics, your socialization, all the things put in together into raising you. There's repeated things that you hear, repeated things that you say, right? Basically, that's why people use affirmations to rewire the brain. If you talk about neurobiologists like Bruce Lipton, if you ever read his book as an actual neurosurgeon, right, he'll teach you so much about the importance of wiring your brain. If you're with me last year when I had time to do my podcast, when I was looking at Dr. Joseph Murphy's work, it's all about rewiring your brain. And last year, in every single war room that I could remember, I would read this quote out for you. And I want to do it again. I want to do it again this year. I'm going to keep doing it. Anyway, this is where I originally got it from. The affirmation that most people are familiar with is every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Right? And this was devised by a psychologist. He actually used to work at a mental asylum, and basically he got a lot of patients who were diagnosed with psychometric ailments, right, and convinced themselves that they were ill, and they were ill, and they were showing symptoms that they did not actually have the disease, which is another way of saying he got them to self-heal by telling themselves every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. And so what I did last year in my war rooms to all my traders and to all the fellow people, I would say this before at the beginning of every video, every day, in every way, and I hope you're saying it out loud, in every way, I am getting better and better as a trader. And you could say the same thing as a father, as a brother, as a mother, whatever you want to put in here. But for the purposes of what we're doing here, please, if there's anything that you want to tell yourself before you sleep 10 times as you're shutting down your eyes, let your subconscious mind know that every day, in every way, you're getting better as a trader. You just keep repeating this stuff. It is part and parcel of auto suggestion, an actual very important part of your trading journey. You cannot fool your subconscious mind. On the outside, you might think you're the ish. On the outside, you could be pretending to be blowing money fast on Instagram, but your subconscious brain, which is the real house that runs you, knows the truth. And until you can convince that part of your brain that you are actually getting better as a trader, you are never going to see it, right? There's a big part of trading psychology that a lot of people don't talk about because they don't do or they don't know how to do. It is absolutely imperative that you spend that same amount of time trading, looking at charts, or constantly focusing on the inner brain, the bigger part of you that doesn't go to sleep, that spends the whole day analyzing all your losses and all your wins, so that when you go to sleep, even if you had a negative day from a negative week and a negative 2 months of trading and multiple blown accounts, a big part of you needs to keep telling your brain that, listen, no matter what you see, every day, despite the loss, I am getting better. I am getting better. It doesn't mean I am perfect today, but I'm getting better. And you start to appropriate that. Your subconscious mind eventually, when it believes it, right, through the power of repetition, auto-suggestion works as part and parcel of repetition. It does not work if you say it once and then you move on, or you say it twice and then you move on. Repetitive affirmations are effective. They are tools for changing habits. Okay, you actually probably think I'm making this up. So let's quickly go back. I know you're gonna probably hate this video, right? But this is more important than what I want to tell you about Swiss franc JPY, right? So where were we here? Every day and every day I'm getting better and better, right? So Dr. Q used auto-suggestion techniques with his patients as part of his treatment. He developed this generally non-specific phrase that anyone could use. It would give the everything I've been saying, subconscious, a positive instruction. So you need to auto-suggest, give your brain a job, an instruction to start to look for the better in your trading. Even if you lost today, you lost $5 today, last week you lost $50. Today you got a stop loss hit because A, you missed the rule. Last week you were not even trying to follow rules. Give it the instruction that you're getting better, but as an opening up that it did not tell the subconscious a specific problem to deal with, right? So that's why I'm saying only add as a trader here at the end, or whatever you want. When Q instructed his patients to repeat the positive affirmation phrase every day, in every way I'm getting better and better, several times a day, improvements among his patients happened so quickly and dramatically that his method became the talk of medical and scientific circles. The use of the phrase practically became a movement in the turn of the European century. You know, let's bring it back. Affirmations can be effective auto-suggestion tools for changing habits and beliefs because of certain characteristics of the conscious and unconscious mind. Your conscious mind, by the way, is what you feel when you're awake, what you taste, all your senses. You've got 7 senses, not 5. I got no time to explain the other 2, but just so you know, your senses are 7. Your conscious mind keeps track of what you do, what you need for thinking and operating. And it filters out what it believes you don't need. If I'd written this out, I've written what it believes you don't need. Your conscious mind and what your memory retains, remembers, is the intelligence with which you normally think, reason, and plan. If you want to, by the way, improve this basic intelligence of the conscious mind, read more. Read, 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 read. Reading is not for nerds. Reading is for everyone. Anyone wants a sharp brain. You need a sharp brain in the markets, by the way. You need a sharp brain in the world of success, by the way. So you attain sharp mind. If you're an alcohol, never mind. Whatever. Subconscious mind, your subconscious mind has access to all the same information your conscious mind has. So everything that you read, learn, master, think, remember, your subconscious mind has, because it receives it all. But it doesn't reason, it doesn't think, it doesn't operate the way your conscious mind does. It takes everything literally. If you grew up and you're told you're good for nothing, every time you get dumped, you're told you're not good enough. Every time especially the emotional things. So the last time you got fired and you went through a 6-month depression spell and you felt all those negative emotions when you were hungry and had no money, the last time you were desperate, the last time you were evicted, the last time you're done, these massive emotional moments, the subconscious mind takes everything literally. It doesn't make value judgments. It does not filter like the conscious mind or interpret it. It simply processes the information. And then the passage will go on to teach you that then, because of that, the subconscious mind cannot distinguish what is real and what is fake. You can be broke on the outside and rich on the inside. Your mind won't know what to believe. What your mind believes, what the subconscious mind believes, just to cut this short, is it believes in the strongest idea. Right? So if the strongest idea in your system is you're broke, if the strongest idea in your system is that trading is difficult, if the strongest idea is all this is fake, right? The strongest idea will prevail. So why do we want to repeat this? Why do we want to auto-suggest that you're getting better? We want to turn I am a better trader into the strongest idea. And this doesn't happen overnight, right? So this is my routine, by the way. I have an 8-minute affirmation that I recorded on my phone that I play in my earphones. 8 minutes long. It's detailed, bro. It's the most detailed thing ever. I once put it up. I can show you the 2023 affirmation in another video another time, right? But it's detailed. It's detailed about how much money I want to make in my war room account, even if I'm starting in May. How much money I want my trading floor to make, how much I want to make in my investments. And remember, this is despite where the market is. I don't care where the market is. I'm a trader. If you're selling, I'm going to sell with you. If you're buying, I'm going to buy with you. It's detailed very much so to the exact number, to the exact time frame that I want in terms of dates or when I want to achieve my goals. It's 8 minutes long. I don't mess around. For 5 times in the morning, I will have my earphones on and this is playing. This is scheduled meditation time for me. Outside of sit down, lie down meditation, I do mind focus, I do breathing exercises. This is a good 40 minutes of me listening to this back to back. Listen to my voice, talk to my voice. Identifying the strong ideas about my trading, about myself, and making sure that I can hear them. I have to do the same thing before I sleep. Sometimes the 8 minutes, because I'm tired, etc., I'll do it about 2 times. During the day, when I'm working, I have earphones. I'm listening to either music or preferably listening to myself repeat. I can then tell you that on a normal average day, in and out of meetings, in and out of talking to people, etc., I at least listen to my affirmations 10 times, right? 10 times is a good minimum for me. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better, plus all the other things I want to achieve. Do that. Prepare a strong idea for you to roll with. Right. Welcome to Swiss franc JPY. Those of you I have not lost, those of you understand how I am, who I am, and why I do what I do, is I do it because I care. I do it because everybody can be absolutely bloody successful. And there's no reason why these secrets of success should be hidden and put in scrolls, right? The days of scrolled up knowledge are gone, right? That's the whole point of the internet. If you like how I teach, then stick around. If you don't, adios, and you know. Right, so Swiss franc JPY on the 12 months chart. Got a teacup. I don't know if you guys know what a teacup formation is. Do you guys know what a teacup formation is? It's an old technique. Teacup, what do I say? Teacup, price action. I haven't used one in a long time. And that's because I trade supply and demand. But I'm not making this up. There's generally a technique called teacup price pattern. Right, so there's a teacup. That's upside down teacup. This is a bullish teacup, right? There we go. See, I'm not making it up. Yep. Yep. Right. So you get this weird U formation in price according to the teacup pattern. All right. Then you get a handle. The handle is going to be what you would call your breakaway channel, and then price will rally from there, right? And when price rallies from there, it really rallies, right? You can get an upside down teacup, also a breakout, because we know that when price wants to break out to the downside, what does price do? It will first push price up and then go, right? All these things, all these little patterns, people will try to memorize patterns. If you look to the left, you always find a valid supply. But you know, they don't want to listen. They don't want to come. Here's the course. If you want to learn everything, hit the link down below. Right, so we have our U here on the 12-month chart. This is a very slow time frame. Everything that I'm showing you is going to take forever, bro. Forever and ever and ever, right? Because it's a 1-year chart. But I'm simply saying, right? 5 years from now, I'll be like, oh, look, who knew Leroy was talking about this teacup, right? And this is what's going to happen, right? We've got a couple of things to talk about on this chart. I hope this makes sense, right? I'm going to remove all my old buys because I'm not even on this. I'm not in any trades right now. Swiss franc JPY, I haven't been in a long time, but some good buying was done in those lower areas here, right? So now I want to just quickly assess if we've broken a major turning point, because that's going to be very interesting. Right? Obviously, we had a big supply here. Obviously, price doesn't care. And this is what I mean by price does not care. Our supply was, price made contact with our supply, all right? Made contact, then price came in, then price left, right? Then price created a mini supply right there, right? But it wasn't that strong, not even that valid, to be honest with you. And then price continued down. It did facilitate a move, but because it wasn't that strong, like I said, price broke that supply. So now we don't even have to talk about it. And then markets created a nice long wick that markets have been doing a good job filling. And you can see that in front of us here, we've got a parabolic structure to the upside, and markets are not slowing down for nobody. Couple that with the fact that, you know, the dollar has been a little bit weak, at least this year, but last year it was quite strong. Swiss franc didn't care, right? Weak JPY maybe, sure, could have been a contributing factor, but the bigger picture is markets don't care about the supply anymore. Supply is not yet broken, but we do have a reason to believe that, you know, a lot of these sellers should be, you know, under some serious pressure. Because institutions are removing them, right? At some point, this bull has to slow down. And when it does, it will now be up to the banks to decide how long it's going to take, 2 to 3 to 4 years to bring price down to a reasonable level before they go up again for another 5 to 10 years, you know, 12-month chart. Not good enough. Let's break this baby down to the 3 months time frame. Then we can start to get some realistic time frames, right? Look at this. If we include the area of competition, fine. Banks still aggressive, sure. Area of competition provided a clean sell for the first time, but since then banks don't care. They don't care. They don't care, right? Again, I don't like teaching traders patterns, right? I'm not here to teach you patterns, but just remember you pattern, right? I don't care about patterns. I don't trade patterns. I really don't care. All right, and markets can create all the damn patterns you want as a retail trader. You just need to follow supply and demand. Right, so we've got the supply, higher supply, because I've removed the area of competition where a fresh touch was given, and this is what I'm seeing. Again, I'm not seeing price all that excited to slow down. I am seeing price obviously react appropriately, right, to a demand, but I don't see price slowing down. And then I'm looking at fresh order blocks at the bottom here on the 3-month time frame, and I'm wondering, let's say I can't draw a Fibonacci because I don't have a swing low. I need a swing low to draw a Fibonacci. But let's say price breaks the supply by June this year, the second financial quarter. Why? Because this candlestick is still not yet closed. Remember, second financial quarter is January, February, March, right? Right? So, sorry, what am I saying? April, May, June, second financial quarter. And then June, then July, August, September, third financial quarter. So we might get a third financial quarter in here, all right, and then only at the end of the year we might get a swing low. If we get a swing low by the end of the year and we need to draw a Fibonacci, it's going to look something like this. I'm mapping out the trend for you for next year, because I can already see that's where it's going, right? Sorry. right? I'm going to draw a bullish trade all the way up there to the supply break, right? You can see that, markets have decided to leave a order block in this area here, which is going to be very important for 2024 if price decides to do a full retracement, right? I don't know. We can see in the past when markets want to retrace for buyers. Let's see in the past, let's back test to see in the past if markets like to do a full retracement for buyers. There we go. In the last leg, this is the recent leg. In the last leg, don't let me lose you, right? Feel free to ask me questions in the comment section. I read all the comments, right? Price came back to that golden ratio area there in the last leg. You see there? This is the current leg for 2024. Where in 2023, I'm saying, will this happen next year? I don't know. But in the last leg, we had a full retracement, right? And then in the other leg, a long time ago, is you see, do you see? Right, man. So I'm showing you how markets have been moving since 2000. Markets come back in 2008, financial crisis. Markets come back in 2016, and now we have a potential other leg. But I'm simply saying interesting stuff to look forward to in price here. All right. So my Fibonacci drawings are not a waste of time. Oh, what the hell is going on? Right. So this is something to look for, but I can't really say that until I get a swing low. But we do have a fresh demand that's going to be used at some point in time in our lives. This fresh demand is going to be used. It's useless to us right now, right? On the governing time frame, I've moved to the monthly time frame. I want to see if I need to tighten the supply, because that might help buy some sellers in a little bit of time. There's a gap there that markets have long filled. There's nothing to tighten. This is as good as it's going to get for the supply. All right, so the supply side stays the same. The demand side is all that is left in question now. Sorry, the right side, right? So on the governing time frame, there is markets not messing around, because they really want to remove this area of value. There was a demand created last June 2022 that markets really kept in place last year. Markets honored that demand and came back into price right at the beginning of this year. My goodness gracious, we would be still holding buys. Well, I would have closed out. I don't even want to lie, because where the supply. But markets clearly have no intention of bidding about the bush. You also can imagine with the slowing down of interest rates or whatever Powell's doing, markets started to really buy as the dollar weakened. Swiss franc will always strengthen, right? So there we go, right? And that's a demand, very close proximity with the supply, breaking previous highs to really make it known that markets are not fluffing around, right? On the week, I said fluffing around, just in case you didn't hear me properly. I'm just talking fast, so it might have sounded like something else. Right, on the weekly time frame, we still have the same thing, still have the same situation. We can now tighten our weekly supplies. We do know that this weekly supply is in accordance with the governing supply anyways, right? So on the weekly time frame, I just want to see how strong price leads, right? So this is big, right? The market's capped down like this, incredible sell pressure for that time frame back then, for that time period rather, right? For the 1980s, very strong sell pressure. Now on the weekly time frame, right, we're almost halfway through this supply and price is not slowing down for anyone. And on the weekly time frame, you'll notice where we had our demand, the governing demand, that this has happened, right? So this is also a nice area to think about. So all of a sudden now, if I want to be a buyer on Swiss franc, I don't really have to wait for that golden ratio demand, I guess, in 2023. In 2023, I don't think so. In 2024, this golden ratio demand might be at play. 2024, 2025, the one I showed you on the monthly time frame. But now in 2023, these are the zones I need to deal with, right? Right in front of us here. This demand is actually interesting because it's new and it took out an opposing area of value. Price is very parabolic. That's fascinating because that means at some point in time we are going to have to get a reckoning, right? Markets must come back and retrace whatever. I would very much prefer, I know I'm on the weekly right now, I would prefer this. Take this out and then come back for me. Or if you come back for me, I'm on a ride with you for a lifetime. Right, up until markets start to really scare me with big bearish engulfing patterns as we create a new major turning point. Remember, Swiss franc JPY, if markets were to break here, we'll then go back to our very first lecture after my introduction on the course on major turning points, supply and demand number one. And you know, when I was teaching this stuff in the course, it looked crazy, right? It looked like, oh, Leroy, when will price ever come back to these areas? Blah, 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 blah. Well, there you go. There is Swiss franc JPY. You're about to trade it. Those of you who've done my course, you are about to trade it. On the daily time frame, we've got an interesting situation on that weekly downward trend line that I drew. I'm going to tighten it up now on my entry time frame, which is the daily chart, just to make sure, right? Just to make sure that things are crystal clean. And if you look very carefully, just above the weekly demand is a daily demand, right? So these are the areas of values that I'm very primed to. I'm looking at demands right now because, you know, it's a little bit too late to sell. Price doesn't look like it wants to sell. All right, so but this is what would happen. The weekly, the bigger square, weekly demand, but right inside the final features of that weekly demand, a daily demand that broke a trend line structure, broke an opposing area of value, now stands, parabolic effect, clean imbalance. I'd definitely love to see price come back down here sometime this year. You know, give it a couple of weeks to months maybe, but price took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why am I counting this like a psychopath? All right, so price kind of like, you know, left. Right, so it took about 25 days for price to be where it is right now. So just a month, right? So we could wait for a month to two for price to retrace down. Someone's like, Leroy, that's too late, too long to wait. Yeah, sure. Your boss takes 4 weeks to pay you and you wait, you don't complain. Right, so there's a demand inside the supply, but if you know my rules, you know that I don't care about it right now. I don't care about it because I never buy inside the supply. I'm not crazy. I might be a retail trader, but I am not crazy, right? So this is what I'm looking at. We'll see how long the supply lasts. We'll see when price comes down. But I'm also happy that right now, as it stands, prices really opened the way. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is right now, if I was to open a buy, if say price was where I am today, and prices will start dropping from where it is right now, right? The distance between where I want to buy and where I'd get out is 1:4, which is great. So if markets can keep pushing up in the supply, breaking supplies like this, you know, it really does create a bigger run. So Swiss franc JPY might be a very good buy long-term trade in 2023 when price is ready and the opportunity presents itself. If you're still watching, and I hope you are. I really hope you are. I appreciate you. Thank you. Please don't forget to like. It does something in me. Like when you like it, it makes me happy. I'm not too vain, too proud to admit that. I mean, I'm putting out a lot of work, and it's nice to know that people are watching it. But don't forget this stuff. If you're still here with me, don't forget the stuff that I told you. Every day and everywhere, I'm getting better and better as a trader. Every day and everywhere, I'm getting better and better as a trader. You can stop the video now if you want, but I'm going to tell you again. Every day and everywhere, you are getting better and better as a trader. For real. Please don't forget. Every day in every way, you know, it would be even better if you write that stuff down in the comments. If everyone could write that stuff down in the comments. What a beautiful way to end this video. 365. Until next time, peace.